Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust. Turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Hey guys, welcome to the show tonight. My name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your host. Let me get my little buttons pushed here. There we go. I did that, no problems. Again, welcome to the show. This is California Haunts Radio. You can find us at californiahauntsradio.com. And we are a paranormal group based out of Sacramento, California, the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team, and you can find that at californiahaunts.org. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming. We got a great show lined up. Our good friends Doug and Jane Anderson are going to be here from Port City Paranormal to talk about some really cool cases that they've had. They were on a couple months ago talking about the Battleship USS North Carolina. Fascinating show. So I'm looking forward to talking to them about these other cases. You know, what are you going to be doing February 19th and 20th? I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be at the Mystical Minds Convention in San Jose. But it's not only going to be me. There's going to be other great speakers that are going to be there. I'm going to be talking about ghost hunting. I mean, that's what I do, right? But the Nazir Muhammad Chauhan's going to be there. Lorian Fenton, Brad Olson, Michael Fury, Drake Fury, Tiffany Turner, Robin Korak, Beth Salmon, Shannon Del Florentino is going to be there talking. So we're going to have a bunch of people there, and it's wonderful. And it's not just about paranormal. You know, we're talking about paganism and mystics and all kinds of stuff there. So if you guys are interested in having a fun weekend, that would be great. That's February 19th and 20th in San Jose. Visit the website at Mystical Minds Conference. Convention. I'm sorry. It's kind of sad. MysticalMindsConvention.com and get your tickets and come on down and meet me and these other great speakers. Okay, business done. See, again, I want to get a thing to where I can toss it. I keep telling you guys that. You wait, next week I'll have a sound effect. You know, for the glass thing. Too many years watching Letterman. Anyway, I want to welcome you guys. It's been an interesting week for me. We lost one of our investigators, Monica Funk, on Tuesday, and it's kind of been an adjustment week for me, trying to do things without her. She's one of our producers as well on the show, and it's been an interesting week for me. But I want to thank you guys for coming. Again, we are the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team. We're 35 strong up and down the state of California, Washington, Nevada, and Hawaii. Okay, well, like I said, we got a great guest. We got some great guests for you tonight. And without further ado, I'm going to bring them on because you guys don't want to hear me chatter. So let me go ahead and bring them on. Hello.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hey.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, good. How you doing?
I'm okay. I've been looking forward to this since the last time you were on.
So are we.
Yep. We had fun.
Well, let's have some more fun. Tell us, for the people that didn't see the first show, let's hear about you guys in your group.
Well, we're a small group that was created back in 2004, 2005. We've grown and shrunk, but mostly we're a small group, and we've been all over the East Coast pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much our guys, we don't keep a large stable of other investigators because they're always showing up. They're ready to go every time, no matter where.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And how many cases a month do you guys take on?
It's been very slow lately.
Yeah.
Usually it's about one a month. Maybe two. And we're happy with that because it's a lot of work for a small group to evaluate all that evidence. We'll put down a bunch of cameras and we'll have a lot of audio to listen to. So it's like on the Battleship. A lot of our investigations last 7 to 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So you have 8 hours of how many cameras that you set up. Usually it's a minimum of 4 for us on the ship.
Plus the head cams.
plus the head cams, plus a couple of other little tiny cameras. And then everybody has their own individual audio. But I listened to Jane's audio because she can't hear anything.
It takes a special ear to hear EVP, and I just don't have it.
Yeah, I understand. And that's what people don't understand, because they see this stuff on TV, and they'll see like the ghost hunters and how quickly they go over the evidence. But what people don't understand is if you have 4 cameras set up, or sometimes even 6 in our case, every camera. I mean, if you're 8 hours, you have to look at 8 hours of film on every camera.
How many hours does it take you to get through 1 hour?
Yeah.
That's about 3 for us.
Well, part of the problem of watching a stationary camera is staying awake.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. If it's a camera that's you're carrying with you, we use these little head cams.
Mm-hmm.
So they're more interesting because, you've got the audio going and you can actually see where they're going and what's going on. But the stationary cameras are just, they'll put you to sleep quick.
Looking at a wall, looking at a bed or something.
Yeah.
I was telling the story last night about a case we had in Vallejo here, and the woman swore the woman had, I don't know, it's not COPD, but that sleeping thing where they
sleep
wake up.
apnea.
Yeah. And she had a mask, and she swore up and down that the ghost was pulling off her mask every night. So of course I set the camera up. One of my poor investigators had to go sit in there with her on the floor, with a notepad. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, and there's a black cat that jumps up on the bed.
Oh.
And sure enough, boom, the cat knocks the mask off.
Perfect.
So hides in the room. So when the woman gets up in the morning, I said, I hate to disappoint you, but it's not your ghost. It's your cat. But I mean, we sat there, and that's what people, like you said, that's what people don't realize. I sat there in front of that camera for 8 hours, and the only thing happened was the cat the whole time, getting up there the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, you solved the mystery.
But it takes hours to do this, and that's why they make it look so easy on TV and so romantic on TV. Oh, did you hear? Yeah, that thing fell over there. Yeah, let's send somebody in there. That's not how it works.
No. No. Plus, they have a big crew doing all the evidence review for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this sounds like something. That's why they only get like one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do pretty good.
So how do you guys approach your investigations? Like when you go into a residential?
You want to start?
I'll
start.
Jane should start.
Yeah. Usually I'll get a call. If I don't get a call, I'll get an email, and I get back to the person real quick and let them know that we're coming. I have them fill out an information form. What would you call it? It's an interview form.
It's an intake form.
Yeah. It's like getting to know somebody on paper. Mm-hmm. So we ask what's going on, how many dogs and cats, because he's allergic to cats. Their general background and what activity they've had.
Well, Jane does interviews over the phone too. She'll just gab with them and see exactly their mindset and what's cooking. And she gets a lot of information.
Yeah. I love talking to people.
I do too.
Yeah.
So you guys go out to the house in your preliminary at all?
Not
basically, we have an idea of what the layout of the house is. And I kind of get an idea of where they think the activity is.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And that's where I'll set up my cameras.
And sometimes the story gets muddled on the way to Port City, or we ask questions a lot of different ways, a lot of different times to see how everybody experienced the act or activity.
That's also a way of finding out if somebody's BSing you.
Yeah.
Some people just want you to come and want to see what an investigation is like. So
they just want to talk to somebody.
They feed you a line in hopes that you'll show up and they can be part of it.
Have you run, have you run into people like you say that just want to get the attention of saying, hey, I have ghost hunters at my house.
Yep.
We've done things where we've done commercial commercial investigations, and there've been like a restaurant, and there've been 20 people there.
Oh no,
and then,
that's awful.
Thanks.
Okay, let's do this. I said it's showtime. Let's just do a show. Let's just do it like a show. Going into your EVP sessions and go do this stuff. And if anything happens, just come out and report it, and we'll talk to them about it and say, look, this is unofficial, but this is what they're hearing back. Stuff like that, because that's all that's going to happen. You're not going to get anything anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
I hate to disappoint these people, but not everybody's haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've gone to some private investigations where half the neighborhood shows up. And, we just say, no, we'll allow one person to stay, and the rest of you have to go.
Yeah.
Do you think TV has a lot? I guess TV has a lot to do with it, huh? With all those programs.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. Plus, it has a lot to do with do-it-yourself Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It really muddles things up.
Well, the thing is that they call you up and then they decide that they know better than you do.
Yeah.
And
we're not the real deal.
Jane has to bite her tongue and not tell them, well, then you go ahead and investigate yourself.
Yeah. I don't recommend it.
No.
Yeah. And some people are very unhappy if we don't find what they're expecting to find.
Oh, yeah. Some people get very angry if you don't find anything. But there's a ghost here. Why didn't you find it?
Well, they're off on Wednesday.
Well, they're either off on Wednesday or
they're off on Wednesday.
Somebody's.
I don't have squirrels in my attic. Well, rats in the cellar.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I understand that stuff. Like the same woman, for instance, swore up and down that the ghosts were moving stuff around. She could hear footsteps in her room. They were moving stuff around. And I said, do you by chance have, because I was in her garage and I was doing a pre-scan and going through. And as I was going through, I saw that like stuff was moving like on the walls. And I thought, rats do that kind of thing because they're on the run. And so I asked her, and people get so insulted. Have you noticed that? When you mentioned the R word. And I go in there and I said, do you think it might be rats that are running through your bedroom? Oh, no, it's not rats. We get in there with the fluorescent light, right? And there's the trails.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She was so miffed. She still swore up and down it wasn't rats.
I try to call them critters. That's not as bad as a rat.
Yeah, well, when you hold a microphone up to the wall and you can hear it just plain as day, and they're just saying, what is that? Is that the ghost? No, not likely.
Oh, heaven forbid something ran across the roof.
Yeah.
But, these people really want our help. But it is surprising how much people get upset when we don't really find what they expect,
Right.
And then there are the ones that were hoping you wouldn't find anything because they really didn't want to be haunted. And you come back with all these voices and they go, oh gosh, no.
Yeah,
that's happened a few.
The other thing I found too with these programs, like when they contact you via email to these programs, it's never, Uncle Bob. Remember years ago it was always Uncle Bob the ghost, right? It was always a relative. Now when they contact you, it's like, and even the programs, because that's all the programs want. We want demon cases. We want the worst case that you've handled and all this. And I'm not going to, forget it. I'm not feeding in that. We don't get a lot of demon cases. I don't know where you're getting all these,
we haven't got one.
Yeah, once in a while we'll run into something that maybe who knows, you know what I mean? But then people see the stuff on TV, and now the calls that we get are, oh, I know it's a demon. Come out and cleanse the house. I know it's a demon. You don't even have to tell me what it is. And I'm just like,
Oh,
Maybe you need an exorcist. And
I've told people to call the church or things like that because you can tell by the way they talk about it that they
Right.
watch too much TV.
well, the thing is, we've always believed that you are in death what you were in life.
mm-hmm.
So if you were a jerk, you're going to be a spirit that's a jerk and do nasty stuff.
Yeah.
And people, they think that's a demon.
Yeah, right away, right.
No, it's just an angry old man that is really pissed off and doesn't want you there.
Yeah. One of the TV groups went to a place we went to, and all they found was demons. Well, this was an abandoned asylum or closed asylum. And there are a lot of crazy people that died there.
Right.
Of course, there's, they're going to say weird things, but that doesn't mean they're a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's like Jane asking the question, do you know where you are?
Right.
And the answer was Paris. I mean, this is an insane asylum.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to think who you're dealing with.
We had the experience like that with, I'm not going to name the TV show. There's a certain hotel up in the Gold Country, and we've gone back 5 or 6 times with our team, psychics, the whole, the whole schmear going in. And this particular TV show, if I say, exactly what they said, the people are going to know what it is. The person that went through said that there were dark beings climbing the walls all over in this hotel, and they were just climbing up and down the walls 5 times. There's nothing climbing up the walls in this hotel. It's not there. I don't understand, what the heck was going on that day with this team. But
did they have photos?
No, it was just it was a sensitive that went through.
No,
okay.
They didn't have photos. They had mushrooms.
Oh, stop.
I don't know what they were on. I was watching. I thought, okay, I'll watch and see what they get. And then they were on, some of the stuff. And then when they hit that, there's stuff crawling up the walls. And I can see them crawling up and down the walls. And I'm like, what in the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do they mean by sensitive? Like, you got all kinds. Everybody's got psychic ability.
Yeah.
But we have some girls on our team that'll knock your socks off.
Oh, we do too. And that's why this particular person who's a TV personality, well, I'll remain nameless, went through. I thought, okay, let's see what she get. Let's see what they get, and maybe there's something. And like I said, at first there was a boom, 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 boom on what our gals had gotten, and then all of a sudden there were dark creatures climbing the walls everywhere.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
I can't handle it.
I mean, you're right about everybody seeing demons, because I read somewhere that there was nothing but demons and a whole lot of them aboard the battleship. And if there were, I'm sure the ghosts would take care of them.
Yeah.
Ask them to get out.
Well,
they're friendly.
Yes, and they play pranks on us, and we kind of expect them to do it. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be a good night without them banging on something or making somebody jump.
The only bad odors we had there was we smelled donuts or something like that one time. I don't know what that was all about.
Oh God,
that's cool. It made me hungry. Ugh.
It was a little cloud in the middle of the room, and you could walk in and out of it.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, you're starving to death, and you smell fried donuts, and you're just trying not to drool.
I was in Preston, the jail up here, the former jail, for boys, and I had no idea what a pyrac looked like. So we're sitting next to the kitchen, and I have a thing about blueberry pie. Honest to God, we're sitting there, and this is like 3 a.m, like you say, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, that's blueberry pie. I want blueberry pie. And I had no idea what those things were. After we left, one of the investigators goes, "Oh no, those are pyracs." Really? So that was giving me the smell of blueberry pie.
Huh.
Oh,
the spirits know what you want. So they know what you're thinking.
Apparently. So tell me about some of your investigations that were more I'm not going to say demonic, but because you know what, the whole demonic thing comes from TV. I mean, when people say, "Okay, I know I have a demon in my house. I know I have a demon in my house," it's generally because they've been watching TV programs. I mean, that's the bottom line, because that's all they ever have on. It's always something negative. So I mean, it's hard to talk to people sometimes on the phone, and I think you guys probably find that out too, because people are bound and determined that this is what it is. Or the other ones we get is, come do a cleansing. Well, we can't do a cleansing until we know what we're dealing with, because cleansings are not one size fits all. When you go
exactly,
if you're on Native American land, you're not going to be able to do regular cleansing. You have to bring in a medicine man to take care of this, and to try to explain it to people, and they get frustrated with you.
Yep. Oh, we've had some pretty crazy investigations along the way. We did one in what was it, Jacksonville, North Carolina?
Oh yeah,
it was a little townhouse, and from what the woman described, that there was something talking to her daughter.
Okay.
And she wasn't real keen on that, so she wanted to get to the bottom of it. So when we went there, we did the basic thing, going room to room, trying to get some response. And we noticed that right in the middle of the living room, between the living room and the dining room, the EMF was off the charts. I mean, you could follow it from floor all the way up to the ceiling.
And go up to the next floor and catch it.
And then it just didn't make any sense. And we go up the stairs and there was like a hatch that opened to a crawl space over top. And the EMF in there was insane.
Huh.
So we just kind of followed the trail. And what we did was we followed it out to, I think it was 3 ground level electrical transformers. And all of them kind of were in a triangle and converged in the middle of her living room. But the thing is that we picked up a bunch of voices in there. I got pushed on the stairs twice. Fortunately, it was heading up the stairs, so I only did a face plant instead of falling all the way down.
Yeah, I was doing a cleansing. The house was a little chaotic, but, try anyway. But I was doing a cleansing. I'm walking down that same stairway, trying to head them out. And I said, "This is not your house. You have to leave. This is not your house." And what was the EVP?
EVP was a spirit, a male voice mocking Jane.
Wow.
Going, "This is not your house. Get out." How many times have you been told to get out?
Wow.
Every case.
Just
about.
But that was it was just a weird case. The fact that there was so much energy in the center of this house. And
it was like a vortex.
It was a vortex.
Yeah,
and it was
a vortex,
it was drawing energy into it. And I guess there were like 3 or 4 different voices we picked up in that house.
And then coupled with the little girl who's sensitive anyway.
Yes.
It's just coming in.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about that house we went back to, the empty house?
Oh.
Yeah. This girl called me that she was in Michigan or Colorado, way away from Wilmington, and asked if we would come over to her house. That it's furnished, but they're not living there. So everything's with them. And a friend of hers needed a place to stay in Wilmington. She goes, "Go over to my father-in-law's and pick up the key." So this gal comes in and she notices that something's wrong in the house. And she did her witchy things.
Oh boy.
And she ended up running from that house, taking her kids by the arms. I could just see it now. But when we came in after this event, the house was a mess. There were toys and crayons and things scattered all over the house. But what we encountered was whole different, really different from what we got before anywhere else.
Yeah, this one was ugly.
Thick.
It was very strong, very forceful. The voices were basically saying that this is my place, this is my home. I want you all to leave. He would, the first night we were there, we had finished the investigation, packed up all our stuff, and Jane had gone out to the truck, and I had to come back in to get one more box, and I had already turned all the lights out in the house. So I walk in the back door, and I'm looking at a light on in the dining room. And I'm going, I know I turned that off. It's one of those rheostat control things. You have to push the button and then turn it up. Well, before I left, I turned it down and pushed the button off. And here it was on bright again. So I said, okay. Well, this happened, I think, 2 or 3 times.
And the lights would flicker and
lights would flicker.
Yeah.
There was a needle point on the wall in one of the rooms, and it said witches do it better or something like that.
Wow.
And it was ripped off the wall and jammed behind a end table.
Now,
I mean, literally jammed down behind it.
There's a little background to this house that we the girl that called us, the owners, well, she wasn't the owner anyway. It was her grandmother and grandfather's house. And she, I think, took too many pills one night. And there was another person that committed suicide or something. And, that's not always the case. But she said this has been haunted since she was a little kid. And that she didn't like staying there, but had her mother and father split, so she went to live with grandpa. And when she had friends over, they never came back. It was just this ugly feeling that this thing did. And we did the history as best as we could.
There were cold spots in the house, and stuff would move. The thing was on the last night we were there, the woman that owned the house was there with us, and we went through a cleansing of the whole house. We blessed it, holy water, holy oil, everything, because we knew how nasty this thing was. And when we all gathered back in the dining room to leave, and I turned out the lights came back on, started flashing, going absolutely nuts. This time we caught it on film.
Yeah.
But it was like saying to us, you didn't do anything. I'm still here.
Yeah. The house is still empty, but the gal that lived there, we tried to make her buy into the cleansing to participate. Not a word out of her. And, I said, I want you to say, this is my house. I'm going to take it back. Or she wouldn't say that. So.
Oh, that's a lot of it.
Yeah. Thank you.
A big part of it.
Do you think that some of that, whatever is there, is attached to the land? Because that would make it even more difficult to get out of there.
Yes, it is. It's got to be the land, because the house was built in the 70s and it was just forested land before that. And it was owned by probably one of the first inhabitants of Wilmington. Had a big old plantation out there. And we kind of figure that the guy might have been in charge of part of the forest, as a logger, or maybe the boss man. And like the only time that a slave would carry a gun is if he was the boss of a bunch of people. So, he was there to protect that land back then. Maybe that carried over. I don't know. Yeah. We never found out.
It was
Go ahead.
It was a plantation at one time.
Okay. When you talk about the witchy stuff, though, did she do, something?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's not going to help the situation either.
No, she just pissed whatever it was off.
Right.
She drew all these chalk runes over top of every doorway.
Yeah.
And I don't think she knew what she was doing, because I took photographs of them and compared them to true runes,
Mm-hmm.
and they had nothing to do with it. She made this stuff up,
Yeah.
is what she did.
She also came to this house to give me the key so we could go over there and investigate. And I was saying, well, the owner says that you're a witch. What kind of witch are you? And just acted very interested. And I was really quizzing her. And she really didn't know anything about Wicca. Or it's Wiccan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Internet witch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Poor
Have
girl.
you had any clients outright lie to you? Like I've had clients that have claimed, and it's funny because Trish, our psychic, our lead field psychic, she gets really PO'd,
Mhm.
because we asked directly on the questionnaire, have you used tarot cards? Have you done, that kind of thing? Or have
Yes.
you used a Ouija
Mhm.
board? Oh, no, we haven't used it. And Trish, she's nosy. She goes looking through the closets when she's doing her walkthrough. If she finds a Ouija board, she's just like, look, people, you're lying to me. Have you had somebody outright lie to you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
Absolutely.
want to tell the one about the one on Chestnut Street?
No, you might have.
Oh, God. Okay, the house is haunted. There's footsteps, there's lights going on and off. And when we pulled up to that house, the owner and this geeky looking guy was sitting on the porch. Well, he just appeared dirty, like a halfway house. No, I didn't say that.
He was actually walking
Sideways.
the dogs sideways, kind of tripping sideways. And I said to myself, oh boy.
Yeah.
And on our intake form, it basically asks, are drugs a part of your life? And she said, no. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Jane found the stash.
Oh, God. She was so stoned the whole time. And then she started telling me I didn't know what I was talking about, that there's no way that this person could come in the house. It's got to be a ghost and blah, 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 blah. And I just blew my top and went outside and said, we're leaving. That's
And I was glad, because I hadn't unpacked anything, because I was afraid to scatter any equipment around for fear it would get gone.
Well, you did a background check, didn't you?
Oh,
One
well,
person?
after
We do it before now.
yeah, afterward, I did do a background check on the two people that were there, and there was a long history of prison drug use.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now we do a background check before we go to the houses.
I don't blame you. I know we should start doing that too. We had one, about 8 years ago, because at one time our team was primarily women. So we go out to this house and they needed help. The kid was the little boy was being harassed in the house. And so we go out there, I set up the equipment, and I think her boyfriend showed up, or her husband showed up. I forget what the heck this guy was. All I know is from the second thing started, he was on top of us going, where's the evidence? What are you guys doing? Obviously, he had been drinking, and all this stuff. And this, I put up with it for about maybe 20 minutes. And I said, we're packing it. We're done. We're done with this. But the guy got to the point where he was just like, I'm going to get my gun. I'll make you guys tell me what's going on.
Oh, gosh.
And you know what? We just packed up, got the hell out of there. We were just like, no, we're done. Goodbye. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Then she calls later and apologizes. Come on back out and do this. Oh,
No.
But that was a terrible situation, because what was going on with this ghost. The ghost wasn't hurting the kid. It was scaring the kid. And I guess what we found out later through, doing research, talking with her and the little boy and the psychic, was that this guy was beating up the mother.
Oh.
And so it was the fight. The husband was deceased. So he was coming back to to make sure that he didn't hurt the kid or anything.
Yeah.
That's what the deal was. But
psychologically,
yeah,
that would make the kid have nightmares. And,
yeah. So that's what was going on. So we didn't finish the investigation. That was the last time we put in that house. That guy was crazy. At one point, he was out in the front yard arguing with me.
Oh,
about stuff. And I
great.
was
As you were backing away?
yeah, because I was backing away.
Yeah, it hasn't happened too many times.
What kills me is this guy calls like multiple times. He's really needs some help and blah, 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 blah. And so we drive, an hour?
An hour.
And nobody answers the door.
Of course.
Nobody answers the back door. We blew the horn and stuff like that. Well, I called him. He answered the phone and I said, "Are you expecting the Port City Paranormal people tonight?" And said, "This is Jane." And he said, "Oh yeah, I forgot." But there was a big slur. He was hiding inside the house. He got drunk that day.
Oh well, yeah, we've had clients hide on us before. We did an investigation of one house, and it was a big house in town, and we got a lot of information on the first go round. We were going to go back with a shaman and a psychic and do a walkthrough again to see what they came up with and maybe do a blessing. Well, the woman was supposed to have her kids.
That big house.
Yeah, we're supposed to have somebody else take care of the kids, but because we don't like to do this with children around. And so she had the kids and hadn't done anything with them. So she was like hiding in the living room.
Yeah, we could see the TV going.
We finally spotted her when she was taking one of the kids to the bathroom. And I banged on the door and she nearly came out of her shoes and finally answered the door and said, "Well, and I said, "Well, I'm sorry."
Oh, our psychic was PO'd.
We've been standing out in the cold for like 45 minutes. And we just said, "No, that's it.
Yeah.
We're gone."
She never called us back.
Have you ever run into a case where, and I know we did it in Vacaville, in town Vacaville here, where they test your psychic?
No,
we actually.
I know that's going to happen sooner or later.
I had one where they had already had another psychic go through without telling us. And then our psychic went through, and our psychic, real sweet lady, reminds me of Bette Midler. That's how she acts too. Anything and everything will come out of that mouth. So you just got to bring it off and go with the flow. And it was a kid that was like, I believe it was from the early 70s, somewhere around there. And when she described the way he was dressed, the woman goes, "Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all." She got the age right. And so I had to point out to the lady. I said, "Look, this gal grew up in the 80s. The psychic. She's not going to know how a kid in the 70s dressed. Okay, so to her, she's not she's not a fashion aficionado. She got 90% of your information correct on this little boy that's in your house." I says, "You can't say that she got it wrong." Well, she should have known how he was dressed.
Oh, jeez. Ask her what kind of shoes he had on.
Those are from the 60s on this kid. And that's what threw her instead of the early 70s. I'm just like, or we've done ghost tours out in towns, where, when you're doing your conventions. We've done ghost tours where people have planted the city psychics out there, the locals. And they'll be in the crowd when we're doing ghost tours.
Oh gosh.
We've gone through that too.
Oh.
Yeah,
people don't realize on the outside that ghost hunters go through.
Well, we did one investigation where the lady that owned the house, it was an inn, bed and breakfast, I guess you call it. And she said that one night she was on the porch and these two women came up and said, "Oh, we were passing your house and we felt something," and started to tell her about the ghosts in her house.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that anybody could have looked it up online to find out who owned the house prior to her and what went on there and all this stuff, because the history is there.
Right.
And
they had EMF meters too, the little
yeah.
light up one. They're walking down the street with this thing.
Yeah.
But there was a ghost there. And she was cool.
Yeah. She was the original owner of the house.
That's
and
She was a dame of something like being a knight in
Malta.
Dame of Malta. Yes.
That is cool.
She was a world traveler and,
Might have been a spy in World War II.
well, I don't know about that, but she talked to us, and I think she liked Doug more than anybody. And she used to hold court in her house, up in her bedroom, and have her martini right there.
Oh my
And you know, that was that. They
She was an
visit.
eccentric, you know. But I happened to be downstairs in the library all by myself, waiting for Jane to come down off of the tour with the current owner of the house, and I just happened to say out loud, there were a picture of 2 dogs, and they were beautiful dogs. I says, "Oh my God, those are beautiful dogs." And I got a gorgeous EVP that said, "Don't you just love them?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she was sitting in there with me,
Nice.
and she answered a bunch of questions.
Mhm.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wish we could go back, see if she's still there.
yeah.
Yeah.
She
But
probably is. I mean, there's one up in Placerville where the original owner of the house, it's a restaurant where they do weddings and stuff now, and all she does is hang out in the corner and watch the people go by. That's her thing, you know.
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah, the psychics will go, "Oh, she's over there," or "She's over there." She's watching things, and maybe that's what this gal does too. She holds court. That's her thing. That's her afterlife thing. That's what she likes to do.
Madam.
Does the woman ask questions or make comments about people?
Yeah, she does. She'll make comments about the people, their hair or whatever they're wearing. In fact, she'll show up in the bathroom in the women's bathroom mirror when somebody's primping.
Oh, that's cool. That is really cool. Another really interesting investigation we did was Webb Library.
Oh,
Um,
it's up in Beaufort. Is that right?
it's near Beaufort, North Carolina. But anyway, this place is now a public library, and it's pretty well packed. It's got a bunch of different rooms.
It was a big house.
At one point, it was a house that was leveled, and they built on the foundation, and it had doctors' offices and stuff in there, and then it was turned into a library.
Mm-hmm.
But the place was giving them a fit. The head librarian, she said this horrible smell would just show up out of nowhere. And they had the sewer people, everybody, plumbers. Nobody could figure out what the problem was. So she brought in investigators. And we went in there, several times.
Mm-hmm.
The house was crazy.
Yes.
Oh, this building was absolutely nuts.
Busy.
We had cameras that were totally destroyed, fried after the investigation.
Other teams have complained of the same thing.
I had a camera mounted on a tripod, and when I was viewing the camera, all of a sudden the cameras started to swivel, but you could hear the feet of the tripod scraping across the floor.
Dang.
And
Well,
lights would turn on and off.
I was upstairs one time doing an EVP session in this large study area, and I said, "Are you the one that makes the stink here?" What'd the guy say?
Oh, when you make a smell, are you disapproving of something? What do you disapprove of? And you hear, "You."
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Charlie. I
Yeah.
think two really weird things happened. We went down to the cellar all the time, and it didn't feel weird, but you had to go down this little stairway, turn the corner, and then open this old door and go down the rickety stairs into the basement. You want to go for that one?
Yeah. A couple of us had gone down and sat down in this dank dingy cellar, and we're sitting down there. We hear voices. Now we're wondering if they're coming from upstairs or outside or something. Then we hear music. Then we hear wind blowing. Of course, it was a calm night, so there was no wind blowing. And we came up, told everybody what we had heard down there. And we said, well, we're going to have to hit that again later. Well, the night turned into chaos after that. There was a chair moved in the back. One of the lights came on. And then two of us were in the back of the library, and Jane was upstairs with some other people. And all of a sudden, we all heard this crash.
It's loud.
It was loud. And me and this guy, Steve, were the first ones to come upon it. In the mudroom in the back of this thing, they had bicycles, and they were on racks on the wall. Mm-hmm. Somebody had taken the bicycle off the rack and jammed it up under the doorknob.
Dang.
Going to the basement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was jammed in there.
Wow.
Yeah, we kind of moved away from that area and started talking about it, and we were telling the librarian, like, did anything ever happen like that? And all of a sudden we hear this dee. Wasn't that what it was doing?
Yeah, it was some
cell phone or
electric
gizmo
that it had a clock and I think it was alarm clock, mm-hmm. and some other noisemakers on it, and it just at 2:00 in the morning just decided it was going to go off. So we had to check that out. And by the time we got everything sorted out, it was time to go home.
Oh, wait a minute. You missed a spot. When we were looking for it, the librarian looked in Lost and Found and pulled out this little, I don't know what it was, but that had been in there for months. And she thought the batteries were dead.
Right.
They were.
Oh, creepy.
And so that prevented us from going back down to the basement. It just threw us out the window.
We never got back down to the basement.
Kick ourselves for that one.
Yeah. We had to wait till the next.
What was strong enough to move a bike? That's the thing that makes you wonder.
Yeah. They say that ghosts can't move anything greater than 30 pounds. Who figured that one out?
Yeah, here, touch this,
I think ghosts, if they have enough energy, can do whatever they want to do. Some people say, well, that was demonic.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, well, of course, we did have sulfur smell in there,
mm-hmm.
So somebody would equate that to
the broken sump pump.
Yeah, well,
well, yeah. I mean, especially an older place. I mean, who knows what's coming up through the pipes?
Really, and this is the land of pirates, North Carolina pirates. So we're just what in the world?
Yeah,
that we've been back a few times after that, and. The same lights would go on and off, and we swear we turned them off, and they'd be on when we're watching the video. But another ghost hunter group took it over, and so we couldn't go back anymore.
Yeah, they did ghost hunts for civilians,
muggles.
So we weren't allowed because we were ringers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some other groups really don't like us. We go
through that too.
Yeah, I mean, if you find something that nobody else found, hey, we were lucky that day.
Well, they call you liars. And
Oh golly,
faking evidence and stuff. So, yeah, I just tell them I've never faked anything in my life.
You don't need to.
And have you noticed, like you say? There's people that can get EVPs and people that can't on the team. It's just like photos. There's certain people on teams like that can get a still photo of evidence, and there's certain people that can't.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something within their abilities or whatever, to do that. I was one of those people that could always get the good EVPs, and even other people on my team would complain that I was cheating.
Oh,
I'd be like,
that's a shame. It depends on where you are.
yeah, I'm
Like
not
that Spirit Love Doug.
sitting out here doing this stuff when I'm on the field.
Yeah, it's like Tony Hall on our team. He has a tendency to pick up a lot of good EVP.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's his demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
He's so very calm. And when he speaks, it's softly and calmly.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to respond to him.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to get a lot of EVP too, but I'm not quite as I'm a little more annoying than he is.
I get more than you do.
Well,
At the Battleship, I get more than he does because the boys like me.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you got to look at the fact too. Some of those guys are out to, well, I hate to say this, out to sea for a long time. Okay.
Yes.
And there you are out there. Yeah.
Yeah. We've done a few crazy ones, but I think the one we were on vacation up in this is a funny story up in
New York,
the Finger Lakes in New York, and we get a phone call, and it's a local area code. So Jane, she says, "This is Port City Paranormal. How can I help you?" And
I thought it was one of my high school friends because that's where I grew up.
And he just he says, I'm a bar owner here in town, and I think my place is haunted. Can you? I've got some video from my security cameras.
Oh boy!
Can you come take a look? Well, it was Saturday about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But we walk up to this place, and there's no sign outside for the name of this bar. It's just
the windows are blacked
The
out.
windows are painted black, and the door is like crumbling.
Whoa! What kind of place is this?
Yeah.
So I knock on the door, and the dust is falling off of the door. And this guy opens the door, and he says, "Oh, are you Port City Paranormal?" And I said, "Yeah." So he says, "Come on in." And this place inside,
it's filthy.
Our feet were sticking to the floor.
Ew.
As you step through. And he says, "I don't know. We might have recorded an angel and then something else." And he goes over to this door and yanks it open. And I'm looking, and there's a set of stairs that goes down into the darkness.
Straight
down.
Wow.
And we must have disturbed the varmints down there because you could hear them scurrying around.
Oh man.
And right behind the door was a video setup. And he queued up 2 pieces of video. The first video comes on, and he says, "This is the one that looks like an angel." And sure enough, it kind of did look like this fuzzy angel. And I'm trying not to crack up. I really am trying not to crack up. I almost fell down the cellar stairs and Jane caught it immediately too, and her shoulders are shaking.
I was trying to be nice.
We were trying to be nice.
Yeah.
So then he cues up the second one, and it looks like somebody doing the chicken dance with his elbows flapping and all this stuff. And by this time, we're about to just fall down on the ground laughing. And we told him, "Dan, your bar is not haunted. You have bugs." Jane explained to him, the nice warm lights, IR lights, the moths and cockroaches and flies just gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
The first one was a moth, right?
First one was a moth. The second one was either a fly or a cockroach.
That's funny.
Yuck.
So we get those kind of things too. So it was solved very quickly. We didn't have to do an investigation. It was great.
Yeah, he was happy with the job.
Have you ever caught anybody trying to fake evidence?
Oh,
Not on our team.
Right.
Are you talking about the owners,
Yeah,
the client?
oh,
Yeah.
Well, actually, what we did, we went to a restaurant in South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and
invited by another team.
yeah, and there was some potential faking of evidence by the other team.
Oh boy.
But not by the client itself. I don't think we've ever had that problem before.
Not from the clients. They lie to you, but they don't fake it.
Yeah, I don't think they'd know how.
We did a residence. Again, Vacaville is not a cool place for people, I don't think. And I don't think they realized I had the camera on.
Oh, yeah.
Basement area. And I'm watching the footage, and we see this guy walk in, and he ties 2 strings. It was like a bookshelf that had curtains on it, and he ties two strings on this stuff. And then about 3 or 4 seconds later, he disappears. And then about maybe 5-6 minutes later, I see the curtain open up.
Oh,
And
that's sad.
thinking, oh, come on. I don't think he knew the camera was there because he had turned around to walk out. He was facing the camera walking out. But he actually rigged this thing with fishing string, you know.
Well,
So
did you call him out?
I did.
Good.
Was he happy with the job he did?
He wasn't very happy because we called him out.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. The one thing he said was, okay. You proved to us that you guys just aren't out to find ghosts. But you're out
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many people are. Ouch.
Yeah.
What
too many
was-
people are like that.
Yeah, Ghost Hunters did an episode out in California at it was a
Restaurant
bar, winery, whatever.
on the ocean.
And
Queen
yes,
The Queen Mary.
No. Yeah,
Okay,
it was
different one. Different one.
yeah,
Okay.
it was on
a
a
building.
It was a building on a cliff.
Okay.
It's famous.
Um,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
and
I think it's a blue
they
lady.
had speakers in the ceiling and
Yep.
stuff wired up, and they caught it and just told them, "Look, we're leaving. That's it." You know.
I had, and it was unfortunate because I kind of got on their website and lashed out at them over it because when we went, we had done that place as well, and
Mhm.
when we went through, everybody made note of where that stuff was. It's all over the internet that they do this. So whoever did the research for them didn't
Mhm.
do a good enough job because if you Google that place, you can go back like 20 years. It'll tell you that they rigged it, that it's been rigged.
Wow.
So when we went in, we told them you better turn all that stuff off before we start investigating. You know, but apparently I don't like. You know, I'm not going to get any fights with ghost hunters. I'm just saying that I did get really upset because they didn't do their job. Essentially,
Yeah.
Whoever did the research on that. But there are places that will try to do that. I mean, even look at what happened with them on the Queen Mary. That time they closed the door.
Oh yeah.
And then they opened the door and the bed's all messed up. So somebody obviously got in there and messed with the camera because the camera timing was off and everything. I mean, people will do that, and they just, I don't know why. It's like when you get those photos, when people send you photos.
Oh, we have gotten tons of faked photos.
Fake, but stupid.
And they swear up and down that their Uncle Charles took these pictures and that he would never lie.
And the camera strap pictures.
Oh, yeah.
And if I see one more orb, I'm going to send them a dust thing.
They put, they sent us a picture that was obviously an app.
Oh.
That everybody,
stupid apps, yeah.
Yeah, a little girl with a checkered dress.
I told them, I said, this little ghost girl gets all over the country. I mean, she travels everywhere. And I said, don't send me another one.
Well, what people don't realize is if you have Adobe Photoshop, you can go in and see how those pictures were taken.
Oh, exactly.
which is nice, and it'll tell you if it's an app or what took it.
Yeah.
The other thing I find interesting with clients is this whole orb thing. When you
Oh,
go to their house, and the clients like to look over your shoulder sometimes and look at the monitors, right? So they'll see an orb shoot up and they get all excited. And I said, no, that's dust. Well, how do you know? Because it's dust. And they'll say, well, I vacuum my house all the time. There's no way it's dust. So I'll go
Yeah.
marching into the bedroom, stomp, drag my feet around, and all of a sudden, so how do you like all the ghosties? As they're going down.
very good.
Yeah, the demonstration really kicks it into perspective, let me tell you.
So it's interesting. It's interesting to hear you guys with your cases, and then think about my cases, and there's a lot to compare it to, a lot in common.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I liked about you guys when I interviewed you in December, because we operate a lot the same too.
Yes.
Our two groups operate in the philosophy between us. You don't find that all the time in this
No.
field, because there's a lot of people just out there after watching TV. They're going to go find ghosts. The
Well,
TV ghost hunter trained people,
Yeah.
that's the problem, is that they're chasing ghosts, It's like I tell people, we don't hunt ghosts, they hunt us.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if a ghost wants to make its presence known, they come to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't make them do anything,
No.
Mm.
especially.
There might be an active house, and the night you go out, it just doesn't want to come out.
Exactly.
It's
Might be
dead.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they might not like somebody on your team
Mhm.
Right.
and don't want to make their presence known.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
I
I've
mean,
had to drop psychics on my team, because maybe I'll have a psychic go in, the first part, and then have another one go in the second part to compare notes. And the second one will be adamant that no, there's nothing here, nothing, talk to me. And the first one will say, oh yeah, it was this person came to me and blah 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 blah. But then the other one's so adamant about it that oh, you're lying because there's nothing here. So I'm just like, you know what, hit the brick.
Yeah.
well, the thing is,
Well, you
is that,
don't know until you listen to your
Yeah.
audio.
Right.
One of them's right.
if the evidence supports one of them,
Right.
that's the one you keep.
Absolutely. I did one house, and it was so funny. The gal had this cat sitting on the bed,
Ugh.
and she didn't have kids. It was Native American land, and so we did the whole tobacco thing, to calm stuff down in the house. So they got this EVP, and it was this cute little voice, and it was, I just want some attention. I mean, real high pitch, like a little kid. My first thought was, oh my god, the cat talked. It's got to be the cat. But then the psychic finally gets a hold of me and says, no, I kind of saw a little girl hiding in behind stuff. But it's just the timing of it, with the cat there and everything. Oh my god, the cat spoke.
Yeah, we have another favorite place in town. It's Bellamy Mansion. It's an old antebellum mansion on one of our main drags in town, and
It's a museum now.
it's a museum. I think one group had done an investigation before we got there,
Mhm.
and got exactly one EVP. Now, the Bellamy Mansion is very haunted. I mean,
Upstairs,
there's
downstairs.
there's at least 5 or 6 people still residing there, and they're not afraid to talk, especially the old butler. Down in the lowest part of the house, he will yell at you and tell you to get out. One night he told us 3 times to get out of there.
Yeah, well, then he said, clean this up, didn't he?
Yeah, pick this place up. There's a slave that she was eventually freed and came back to work for the Bellamys after the Civil War. And she actually continued working there until her death. And she pipes up. She likes talking to Jane.
Okay.
Yes.
You tell it. Okay. Anyway, Doug was unloading everything, and he put all, we used to have these big cases with all the individual cameras and recorders, and it was like each one went someplace and it was a complete unit. But they were in these silver, I call them 007 cases. So I'm watching everybody bring stuff in and set it down, and I'm looking there, and I said, just there's not many of those here. What did I say?
Well, she was standing next to all these cases, and she was talking to Tony about the boxes, the cases up on the 3rd floor. And she said, now, where were those cases? And she was not referring to the ones that were right beside her. She was talking about the ones up on the top floor. And Sarah pipes up and says, well, there's plenty of them right here.
Soft-spoken Southern accent.
That is great.
Yeah.
She's got a wonderful voice.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'll have to fly back there and hang out with you guys because you.
Oh yeah.
But
we get a bunch of great EVP there. We got a little boy piping up. Jane says, "Do the Bellamys have a car?"
Yeah, we were upstairs where the kids played and slept, and there's a little stage there. So I'm sure the little kids put on plays and stuff. But on top of the stage are these huge steamer trunks. We wouldn't dare open them. I would have if I could have. But anyway, so I'm sitting there. I'm upstairs with Tony again, and I said, Tony, did they have a car? Miss Eliza have a car, and that's Miss Eliza, the first Bellamy that lived there.
Well, also the last Bellamy's name was Eliza too.
But anyway, Doug listened to the EVP, and this little boy pops up. He goes, well, me and Miss Eliza did. And I'm going,
and it was,
what did that kid say?
Yeah, it sounded like he was right there in the room with us.
Really cool.
I just couldn't believe. I didn't realize that there would be a child spirit there, especially a friend of Miss Eliza's. It could have been one of the. Nah,
we've had big doors slam in there.
That reverberated throughout the mansion.
When they were at first redoing the slave quarters, we snuck a camera up in there. We weren't really supposed to be up in there, but because they were doing all this construction, it was kind of dangerous. But I had a little camera stuck up there, and it had audio. And Jane, you hear Jane coming in. There's nobody in this place. Jane comes in, and first thing she does is she says hello. Yeah,
of course.
That's just common. Say hello. She says hello, and you hear her voice right next to my camera go, hello.
Oh,
kind of playing.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Now
we run in some really good spirits.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you gotten EVP where it sounds like a helium voice, like it's recorded at a high speed?
Yes.
And then you get some that are real low pitched and slow. Now, what's your theory on that? Is it time? Our times are not in sync?
I think that, or it's another dimension, that is coming through.
Yeah.
I think that because, you also get the mechanical ones too.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
And I always think it's another dimension. It's trying, and what's going on is it's trying to come through all those layers of dimension. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that thickness. Because come on. There's sometimes when you go into a haunted place and the air is so thick.
Yes.
And you can feel it. And I think maybe that's what they're trying to get. What it's trying to get through is it's trying to get through that thickness to come through.
Yeah. I am starting to develop a bit of a theory as to how EVP are actually recorded. But
don't give it away yet.
I'm not. We did a long series of
nosy, but yeah, you don't want the whole world nosy.
Not yet.
Yeah. Oh, we did a whole long series of experiments to try to determine how an EVP ends up on a recorder.
Interesting.
And what we did, we took one recorder and stuck a pin in the microphone slot. And so it had no microphone whatsoever. It couldn't record if it wanted to, a live voice. And the other recorder was normal recorder, so it was recording sound constantly. And when we picked up EVP on the main recorder, we never heard anything recorded on. So it's not a direct imprint on the recorder. EVP it comes through the microphone setup some way, somehow.
It's like it manipulate. I can't say the word.
So now, one theory is that they manipulate parts of the microphone, the diaphragm, the magnets, something.
Right.
And there are other theories also. So we're trying to maybe narrow it down a little bit.
Absolutely.
So we're doing ongoing experiments to see if we can figure that out.
That's awesome.
Really?
When I go out, I get in arguments with team members because I will put like I use Sony recorders, and I will tape it into the walls in camera range in each room.
Very good.
Stuff goes on in the room. Sometimes the energy gets excited. They don't want to talk when you're in the room, so they'll talk when you're out of the room.
Yes.
But the thing that will get on my nerves with this team, and I know there's team members listening to the show. So yeah.
Hi guys.
Is that they see those recorders and they don't want to use their own recorders.
And
No. Because your recorders are going to pick up different frequencies than my recorders. Just like the iPhones pick up a lot. And I know you're not supposed to use cell phones, but I'll pop one on sometimes during an EVP session, when we're not running the meters. Because they will pick up stuff that the recorders don't pick up either.
Well, we've also found out that some video recorders, like our little head cams, they have great audio, and it picks up stuff that nothing else is picking up.
Yep. It's all about the frequency they're running at.
Yeah. So every one of our cameras now, I strip the audio off of and listen to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, been doing that for years.
Absolutely. Guys, you know what? It's always fun to have you on.
Yeah.
It went fast.
It's always a good time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to the battleship. It's haunted, folks. Really haunted.
That means you're going to have to be on again, right?
Oh,
anytime.
Yeah. Anytime.
There you go. It's so fun to talk to you guys.
Oh, thanks.
Excuse me. It really is. What are we drinking tonight?
Coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the dog is he is now taken over.
Supervisor.
There you go. My dog, my one Kelpie before she passed used to. When I was in the other studio, she used to lay under the table, and so people would go, "I hear an animal growling." No, she's snoring because she's really boring. She fell asleep, and you hear her snoring underneath the table.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I have the demonic stomach.
Oh God! Don't feed him anything crunchy before we go.
Oh my gosh, people are going, "What's that?" It's my stomach. Don't pay attention. That growling is me.
I tend to get and this is terrible to say online, but I have IBS. So if I drink water real fast before a show, or I eat something, and it doesn't quite agree, it's funny because people have said, "What is that? It sounds like there's an aquarium in the microphone." No, that's my stomach. I'm trying to try to make it not do that. I'm taking Tums trying to stop this, but
oh Lord,
that's great.
Hear it on here, Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I'm definitely going to ask you guys to come back on.
Great. Thanks for
It's
having
so
us.
fun.
Next time we'll talk about the battleship.
Oh, I love talking about the battleship.
Oh, yeah.
I love
All
talking
right.
about the battleship. In fact, I've been thinking about that battleship like for months now.
Well, if you ever come this way, let me know.
I will.
I mean, because we could set something up.
I will. I've got myself a 19-foot RV sitting out here, just waiting to go.
That's a long drive.
Yeah.
I would love to go because my father was stationed at. He was in the Coast Guard during World War II. He was stationed at Kitty Hawk. He was stationed. He was stationed near Kitty Hawk at the lighthouse there.
Oh, wow.
And I always said I would go back and see it. You know, I always told him that was his dying wish that I go and see it.
Yeah.
It would be cool to go back. You know,
Yeah.
and look. And there's a good reason to go now, and I could pop in to see you guys and
Yep.
all that.
Take you on a haunted ghost tour.
Yeah, there you go. So, how do people find you guys?
They can find us online. It's www.portcityparanormal.com.
Mm-hmm.
They can call Jane at 910-200-7249.
That's yours.
Oh, that is. It's 200-6563.
Yeah. We have pages on Facebook. They can look up JC Anderson and end up on Port City Paranormal page that way.
And, you know, you could always email us at
portcityparanormal.com.
at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot.
Oops.
Yeah, I'm not. You can't trust me.
Yeah.
That's
So
like me. I gotta have my two written down because they're so close. One's a .org and one's a .com. You know, I just have to make sure I read the right one off.
yeah.
It's senility. You hit a certain age, and you know you just gotta.
Too much aluminum.
Yeah, it's just too much stuff, man.
Oh, you mean the foil hats hurt you?
We're
bad.
Cell phone in your ear, you know, and that's got to do some stuff to you. And I wonder what the headphones do too, you know, because they've got all kinds of electrical stuff.
Magnets and stuff.
Magnets and all kinds of stuff.
We have to do the hats in the battleship. See what the boys think.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh,
that
yes.
would be.
That would be so
Play
funny.
a trick on them instead.
That would be cool.
That would be funny.
Just
Oh, yeah, jot it down. Don't forget. Jot it down.
Jot it down.
Jot
Yeah.
down the idea. Don't forget. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have a good weekend.
You too.
My Friday for the show. Sunday, as usual, Sunday, I'm going to be reading from the Ghost of Flight 401, everyone. Okay.
All right.
yeah, I want to listen to that.
Yeah. It's getting spooky. But yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I thank both of you for coming on. And
All
I
right.
will be in touch, and we'll schedule another day for you to come on so we can talk about the battleship.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Love it.
But thank you, and good fortune for your investigations, and hope you keep getting good evidence and all that good stuff.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, you guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. It's always fun to have them on and talk to them. And it's fun to talk about another paranormal group about the way they operate. You know, and you can look at it and compare it with yourself. Anyway, if you like the show, share it with. Oh, no, I'm too far now. See, Sunday. Look at this. I'm way ahead. Sunday, we're going to be here at 6 p.m. reading from the Ghost of Flight 401. We probably have two more readings of that book to finish it, and then we're going to start the short stories from Anna Maria on like 2 more Sundays, 2 more sleeps, maybe 3 more sleeps, 3 more Sunday sleeps. Oh, whatever the hell it is. But anyway, Monday now, Henry G is going to be on, and we're going to be talking about human origins and aliens and stuff like that. So that'll be Monday's show. That'll be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Just remember Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific for me to read from the Ghost of Flight 401. If you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, share it with 5 of your enemies. Again, we're equal opportunity here at California Haunts, and we just want to get a lot of people watching this show because we all think it's a pretty good show. My producer Marisa Haynes and Monica Funk did too, and a lot of our team members think so as well, relatives and everything. We've been working the last year and a half to really build this up, and it's little by little. I'm seeing it's looking really good for us, and I appreciate the support that you guys have given us over the last year and a half with the show. Right? If you're watching from YouTube, there's a little ghost guy that's a little square of a ghost that's down there. That's our mascot, and he or she, right? He or she has a Sherlock Holmes hat on along with a magnifying glass. And if you click on that, that'll make you a subscriber. So when these things come up, you will be able to see them. You'll get first crack at them all. And plus, you can go back. You can go back on go visit our California Haunts YouTube page. Google California Haunts on YouTube, and it'll take you to that page. And you can see all 190. I think there's 190 videos on there right now, and that goes all the way back a year and a half. Now, if you want to go further back, because this show's been on for almost 20 years, okay, long time, because we weren't always at this format. We were at Block Talk Radio. So if you go to our website at CaliforniaHauntsRadio.com and go up and click on all the way over, click on the top there, the top menu, it'll take you into our archives, and it takes you back 15 years for those shows as well. So we got links going back to that. So Saturday, quick reminder, I'm going to be teaching a protection class. So anybody that wants to learn about protection for yourself or protection in a house that you think might be active, or even if you're a ghost hunter and you want to learn how to protect yourself, you can do that. Visit CaliforniaHauntsRadio.com and just go across the top menu, hit the last thing on the menu, and go to special events, and you can get access to that there. Okay, I want to thank you guys for coming tonight. You see that ticker moving along the bottom. That's because California Haunts is a nonprofit group. We don't take anything for our investigations, so it all comes out of my pocket. And because of that, if you see, the mics, the internet, the cameras, all this stuff that's in here, and StreamYard and all that comes out of my personal pocket. If something breaks the computers, I have to pay for it myself to keep everything going. I'd really appreciate a little bit of help if you could do that, because this is all I do. This is my thing. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy bringing you these great guests. And so if you could find it in your heart to donate, that would be great. That's paypal.me/California Haunts. Or if you're uncomfortable with PayPal, go into Venmo and just type in California Haunts, and you can do it from there. I'd really appreciate it, But anyway, I love talking to you guys, and I will be back on Sunday reading The Ghost of Flight 401. So I want you guys to have a good weekend, and I hope you do. So I will see you. Let me get back on my right page here. More buttons, right? You know how I'm about my buttons. Let me get to my buttons. There we go. All right, I'll see you on Sunday.